Hi everyone, welcome to the final stage, the 10th stage of how to be a samurai. Here we are with step 10, which is treading the spiritual path. And hopefully this will bring everything all together. You have to remember that Japan is polytheistic, which means you can have many traditions, many religions that seem to contradict each other, but actually meld quite well. And the first one of them is Confucianism. So what you should be doing here is reading the Analects by Confucius, okay? They're a little bit difficult to get your head around at first. They're a little bit difficult, but if you get a decent version with the footnotes that explain some of the things, it's quite good. Now, Confucianism is now a religion. All of these things are now religions by definition, but they started out as philosophies. And this is the idea, it's a philosophy of the man Confucius from China. And the idea of this is social order, social correctness, correct behavior at the correct moment, very much a disciplined society. This will go on to the other ones, but you should think about how to act and when to act and when and how you should act, and make sure you don't go outside the boundaries of society. Now, the next step we've got is going outside your core virtues. Now, these are Confucian core virtues. Now, we get Jin, which is agreeableness and social acceptability. So are you an agreeable person? Is it nice? You get Gi, which is correct action and mindset. Are you doing the right thing in the right way? Then you get Rei, which is general politeness. How polite are you? Then you get Qi, which is wisdom and knowledge. You know, basically, can you use your mind? And then Shin, which is trust and integrity. These are often translated a little bit differently, but in this book, I decided to go for what they actually mean as opposed to what they're translated to. You often get real benevolence, righteousness, but those words are quite old-fashioned and nobody really uses them anymore. So we know them, but you don't really know the difference between all sort of the main virtues. So I've decided to divide them into agreeableness, correct action, politeness, wisdom, knowledge, and trust and integrity. The next thing is family bonds, basically. So, which is called ko here, and how much you bond to your family. Now, Confucianism is very much based on bonding with the society, and lots of times society is made up of your family or extended families. Now, Chu means loyalty, so you've got to be really a loyal person in the way of the samurai. There are times for deception, there are times to not be loyal, I suppose, or to feign loyalty. That's part of your strategy. But when you're actually loyal to someone, you have to remain loyal. And loyalty will get you the furthest way, especially with your friends, your family, everything. So think who do you care about and remain loyal to them people. Even if they make mistakes, remain loyal. If they continue to make mistakes and they're going down the wrong path, then you've got to question why you are loyal to them. But if you've made the correct choice and you are loyal to the correct person, then keep loyal. Overall, Confucianism aims to basically make us superior human. We live in a world today where we talk about equality and everything, but actually people are not equal, and I don't mind that being that financially. Some people are cleverer than others. Some people have a better sort of ability with mathematics. Some people are not great at things. Some people are excellent sports stars, have immaculate bodies. You're not born equal. This is totally nonsense. But you should have equal rights within society, but to everyone be the same, like handicap other people so lesser people can rise up to them. It's just ridiculous. It kills society. So what you need to do is remember basically that you are on your way to being a superior human being, the highest you can possibly be within inside your society. That's the way of Confucius. Now you should understand Taoism. Now Taoism can be spelt with a T or a D because it's actually Tao and not Dao or Tao. So, but it's a word that's come in the English language, so both T and D are acceptable forms, no problem. Mainly everybody's moving towards Taoism now, so it doesn't really matter so much, but just be aware of that. Now, for Taoism, basically, you've got to engage with simplicity. So it's in opposition to Confucianism, really. Confucianism is about ritual, about the correct thing to do, social etiquette, whereas the Tao is about relaxing, getting away, and pulling away from like high level society that's overmeshed. You need freedom in your life. So what you need to do is take time in your life to relax, sit back, and allow the world to flow around you. The next step is to engage with Mui, basically, which is Wu Wei in Chinese. And this means to have no, well, Wu Wei is, annoyingly, it's translated as no action, but it actually doesn't mean no. It means absence of action, but it doesn't mean not to do anything. It means absence of directed action. So the idea of Wu Wei is when something approaches you from the universe, like so, and a situation has approached you, flow with it, go with it, and engage with it as best as you can. Don't try and run away from it. Don't try and get this way. Once something comes, engage with it correctly. But don't try to over-engage or force something or try to push what you want. That would be against the idea of Mui or Wu Wei. Now, Taoism can be, or Taoism can be brought down to some basic ways, and that is goodness to other people in the world, moderation and reserve in all things, never push beyond the situation you are in. So basically, go with the flow. It's very much like the Star Wars idea of the Force, and that's one of the, the inspirations for it. And this idea is that everything, the chi of the universe is flowing in and around you. You have to relax, you have to go with it, but it matches with Confucianism because you do the right thing at the right time. And even though Confucianism and Taoism used to argue a lot, they still can be worked together. In fact, they work together quite well. Now, Buddhism, you've got to have a good understanding of Buddhism, and that doesn't mean you have to know all the chants and everything, but you have to know what's the point of Buddhism. So let's go through the Four Noble Truths. This is understand that you will encounter suffering in life. Know that suffering is your own making because you want more than you have. If you stop wanting things or desire for, anything, even like sensation, then suffering will get less and less. And to help you on your way, you should concentrate on the Eightfold Path. So what's the Eightfold Path? So the Eightfold Path is a way for you to get to where you need to be. So it's to have a correct view of the world, understand reality of possible suffering, correct intention, have positive ideas only, correct speech, be pure in everything you say, correct action, do things that don't harm others, correct ways to earn a living, don't do anything that is detrimental to others, correct effort, put effort into the right places and think positively, correct state of mind, make sure your mental health is good and you're not going a bit on the old crazy side and trying to force people to do things they don't want to do and mess around in the world. Correct focus, have dedication and a focused mind. So if you realize that the world is about suffering, and if you basically detach from that and stay pure and don't interfere with people, you tend to have a much nicer life. The last one is Shintoism. Now, this is the native religion of Japan, and it's often termed as animism, which means things have a soul in it. So everything has, is part of the sort of world, the nature of the universe, and has a soul. And also that when you die, you go up wherever you go and you look upon the humans and you help the humans and you exist within sort of the world and the landscape as a god, as kami. And there are also gods and kamis that have come from long before humans have been there. So the god of the river, the god of this. Now, normally Shinto is done through an altar. You worship an altar or a sacred space or a clean space. It's very much to stay away from death. It's very much to get away from impurities, to wash yourself, to make sure you're always clean, to make sure that you pay respect to the people who've gone before you and prepare the way for the people that are going to come after you, and take a grip of everything that is in the sort of physical world around you that but also might have a spiritual aspect. So we're going to combine the four now. So basically, when you combine the four, Taoism is for where you are in the world, in the universe, your focus in the universe. Where am I? Now, Buddhism is how my mind is working. Am I being correct in the way I think? Meaning, like, am I going through life, through the purpose of life correctly? Confucianism is how do I act in society and how do I act with everybody else I meet? And Shinto is actually about dealing with the ancestors who came before you, but also with the gods and the spirits. So let's go through them basically here. So let's give a quick roundup. Taoism is understanding social relationships. Sorry, my mistake. Confucianism is understanding social relationships. Taoism is knowing your place in the universe. Buddhism is perfecting your inner self, your inner mind, and Shinto is connecting with the past and with the landscape around you. Okay, so you've got to combine all four. You would think they don't really combine, but they do. And a lot of the time in the old days, Confucianism and Taoism used to argue about things, but actually they go together quite well. So you have to make them all work inside your mind. Obviously, there's a lot more in this chapter written down. Now, do not force your dreams. Do not force them. Basically, if you try to force your dreams, you won't get there. The universe knows what you want. You've got your intent. It already knows. It can read your mind. It sees your mind. It sees everything. It sees beyond time, the lot. It knows how to get you where you want. There is nothing more powerful than the universe. It will get you to arrive wherever you need to be. But you have to let go of that. If you force it, you'll never get there. Have proper intent. So there are 4 stages of intent, which we've done on this page here. Now, these 4 stages of intent are good intent, good action is something good. A good intent with a bad action is still something good. A bad intent with a good action is something bad. And a bad intent with a bad action is something bad. So number 1 is where you want to be. Number 2 is not so bad. Number 3, you are getting it wrong. And number 4, you're totally getting it wrong. Most people only do 2, 3, and 4. Almost nobody does number 1. And when you start doing number 1, the universe opens up for you. Don't count success by wealth. Success is by how comfortable you are. A study was made not a long time ago, but a few years ago, about what is the best sort of wealth for happiness. And actually, at the time, it came in at about $70,000. And you could say that's probably double the average wage. So if you are earning double the average wage, you're pretty happy. But the experiment showed that the more money you get, the more unhappy you are. So if you've got more than enough to buy food, to relax, to go on holiday, you are happy. If you've got too much, it's a stress to try and keep it or to work with it. So actually, you're not looking for financial gain. You're looking for comfort. If you're comfortable in your life and it's not stressful, you have succeeded on the way of the samurai, okay? You are not looking for personal wealth or personal gain. You might get that, but that's not what you're looking for. Understand karma. So basically, good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. Now, the ancient Indian, Chinese and Japanese used to explain this because you have to pay off karmic debt. Karmic debt doesn't come one after the other. You do something bad and you get instant karma. We like to say that nowadays, instant karma. Actually, no, karma can last over lifetimes. So you could be die, born, and then eventually something bad happens to you. Like, why has that happened to me? Because like 3 or 4 lifetimes ago. Now, if you don't believe in karma, you don't believe in reincarnation. So you can't really focus on just saying, well, karma is only in this lifetime. It's actually across multiple lives if you believe in karma. As I say, if you don't believe in reincarnation, then you probably can't believe in karma as a religious concept anyway. And finally, let's look at the path of purity and destruction again. Now you've gone through everything and you go through the lot. And I recommend if you've got to the end of this course, you go back and start again and listen to it all in one go. Literally put it on in the background and listen all in one go and go through and see and take some notes and see where you're going. But we've got the path of purity and the path of destruction. Remember, the path of purity is about making the world a better place. The path of destruction is taking from other people to benefit yourself. The samurai loved the path of destruction. In fact, most of samurai history is about the path of destruction, but they did do the path of purity as well. And it is a higher calling. It's like the step between being a warrior and being a sage. Being a warrior and not just a fighter. A fighter is someone who just goes and fights for money and cash and whatever. Being a warrior is someone who has a principle behind that. But being a sage is leaving the path of the warrior behind and actually taking up the way of thinking and the way of the sage. So if you're getting to this point and you're enjoying the mental aspect and the sage-like aspect, you're ready to leave the path of the warrior behind. But you've got to have gone through it to know that it's A, you've already done it, maybe in a past life or maybe in this life, but B, it's time for you to move on. So it's your choice. Let me know what you think you should do. Okay, so now we are going to go through the action points at the end. So, step 10, action points. Ground any esoteric interests in a firm foundation in the way of the samurai. Yeah, keep it straight. Familiarize yourself with the 4 main spiritual paths of Japan: Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism, Shinto. Study Confucianism and gain insights into social relationships and conduct. Learn from Taoism how to align yourself with the universe. Discover how to refine the workings of the mind through Buddhism. Gain a connection with your ancestors and the land through Shintoism. Live with proper intent without forcing your dreams. Value comfort and harmony over money and power. understand the principles of karma, choose your path in life. Will you follow the path of purity or the path of destruction? And are you ready to leave the way of the warrior behind? Okay, guys. And at the end of the book, we've got the complete summary there of everything you've got to do. So you've got to go through it all there and crack on. Right, guys, I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for everything. Enjoy the book. Please do go back to the beginning and enjoy it all again and listen to the entire series, because I think the more you listen to it, the better. And you can put it on in the background once you've watched it once. Okay, that's the end of the step 10 and the action points and what you should do. Thank you very much. This is the end of the playlist and series.